I have an actor with me and a director with me, but we'll talk to them presently. That's part one of our homage, if you like, to One World Week, and we'll be coming back later in the show with Paddy McGuinness and Cecil Regendra. My thanks there to my former colleague now with Christian Aid, Adrian Horsman. The two folk with me are Rob Killalea, the actor, and Helen Donnelly, the director, and it's a one-man show next Thursday night, and you're the man in the Sean Hollywood Arts. You're a young man. What age are you?
24.
24. I would have guessed you were. I would have said 27, because you have a kind of a maturity about you, a wisdom about your face that is not 24.
Or it's the stubble.
Stubble, something like that.
I'm glad you said that, because, like, as I was saying, like, you know, people say I usually look quite young.
Yeah.
So when someone says that to me, I look quite mature, I take
No,
that.
there is, you have it, the face is a more mature face than 24. What do you think? You're 26.
26.
Former ladies' girl.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why did I do that? I'm so good at these things. So you're out of her ladies a wee while now.
Yeah.
Went to live in London and became a director. And what have you directed up to now, Helen?
I've done some pieces in Belfast and London. I've done a play that I directed myself last year in the new Mac Theatre up in Belfast.
It's nice there,
It is
isn't
nice, yeah. It was part of it's called the Pick and Mix Festival, so they do like a lot of new work.
What is the greatest quality of a director, do you think?
Question.
That's a good question.
You answer that first, and then I'll ask you from an actor's point of view.
I'm thinking about it now.
Stamina.
Stamina?
Yeah.
Is that a stamina to ensure that you drive through your philosophy? That you can be worn down by fellows like Rob?
Partly. I think stamina to keep concentrated during rehearsals, because you can have quite a long rehearsal process, and if you've got a cast of 7 or 8, you have to concentrate on each of those 7 or 8 people, or in the case of About a Golf, 1 person, and you have to, stamina to keep going even when you're tired, and stamina to
and making everyone feel part of it, because if you ignore one, it begins to slip a wee bit, and then where are you? But Rob, how is she as a director?
Good.
And what makes her good?
Her attention to detail.
Yeah.
And understanding, like, the best way to put the story across. You know, there's nothing, when people come and see it, they're going to laugh, they're going to have a good time, but you're not going to walk away not knowing what the story's about. Do you know what I mean? And it's difficult. It's difficult for a director to do a one-man show, because there's so many words. You know, you've got to keep people interested all the way through. And
so many words. How do you remember all of those words?
Practice.
Practice. Are you good at remembering?
Bite-sized chunks.
Bite-sized chunks. That's
But the thing is, though, is that and I do this a lot now. Like I never want to give myself 1 second where I'm panicking about learning it. So I always make sure I've learnt something before rehearsals even start.
Yeah.
So I made sure I'd learnt 2 pages before it started, so I'd already got the ball rolling.
Is it acceptable to take the script and not learn it word by word by word, but to get into your psyche the whole generality of the drift of the script, so that knowledge of the flow of it, of the linguistic flow of it, coupled with the learning process, it gets you out of holes whenever you need to be got out of a hole?
So you mean as in, like, you're
not rewriting it, but you've got such a knowledge of the feel of the script.
That's the way I would like to have learnt it. But because I mean, that's the best way to learn a script. You know what I mean? But the thing is that, you know, I've had quite a few other things going on, so I found myself in a position where I just had to learn it. And because I knew, because I saw the size of it, I was just like, I can't afford. I want to just feel comfortable and confident, and I want to just learn it. You know?
Well, you've a young enough brain to do that. I wouldn't be very good at remembering. So what is about a goth? What is a goth? Or is it even about a goth?
Well, on the surface, and if you see any of the posters, it's Rob's image, whitened face, black lipstick, black eyeshadow. And when we first read it, it would seem that it is about a goth, but it's actually about Nick, who's the protagonist. He's a 17-year-old boy. he feels like he's a bit of an outsider. He has very cheerful parents that annoy him, and he's just finished his GCSEs, and he's gay, and he's just feeling a bit at odds with the world around him. So he's adopted this kind of gothic personality to equip him to deal with the world, to hide behind. But it's really about
just
a
clown, in a sense.
yeah. But it's not about being a goth. It could easily be called about a chav.
Yeah.
It's just about a young boy going through the teenage years.
And very often a young boy coming through teenage years discovers that his sexuality is not what his parents would expect it and wish it to be. So has it got a message in it?
It does, because there's a scene where he comes out to his parents, and he expects them to act in a certain way, and they don't. And it has quite a heartfelt message at the end. It follows a day in the life of Nick, and there's a revelation he comes across at the end that actually some people don't mind what you're like, and that the world goes on and people aren't that bothered. So it's quite a nice message at the end.
That's good. Who wrote the play?
It's by a young playwright called Tom Wells, who's from Hull.
Yeah. Do you know this man?
I don't know him personally, no.
Because very often in Europe, it's a very intimate space of writing, performing, directing, and it's a nice kind of family kind of thing almost.
Yeah, he's quite busy at the minute. I would love to meet him. He is writing the panto for the Lyric Hammersmith over in London, and has a play called Jumpers for Goalposts, which is currently on tour, which we're both going to see in the Bush Theatre at the end of November. So
how did you two meet? You're a Londoner, you're from Killalea.
I came across Helen when she was studying and working in London, didn't I?
Yeah, we had a mutual friend, because I was on a director training course. He was auditioning for his showcase piece, and he's auditioning Northern Irish actors. So he said, can you come along, because I need you to check that they've got the correct accents. And Rob was there as another kind of outside eye for our friend Alex, and that's how I met him during the auditions. So, yeah.
Dare I ask, are you an item?
Yeah.
You are? That's wonderful. You're in love. Hey, that's good. I love that. That's huge. I'm glad about that. That's wonderful.
But it's funny, really, because it's like, but then that would kind of make you think, oh my God, are you mixing business with pleasure?
No.
But it's like,
you can't afford to. You have to. Business needs to be separate to earn the dough and make the thing work.
Yeah,
But it's been a good, because theatre's something we're both passionate about.
Yeah.
And so we just slip into that gear when we walk in the rehearsal room.
Wonderful.
Because as Helen was saying, the thing we did at the MAC, the piece what we did last year at Belfast, brand spanking new theatre. We did the piece last year that Helen wrote, Lead Astray. That was our first experience doing something together, and we were kind of unsure how it was going to go. But it went swimmingly, didn't it? And we were really, really surprised. We had a really good time on that
Have
project.
you been in the Art Centre yet to see it?
No.
You've seen it.
I've seen it,
You'll be impressed. It's a nice sort of amphitheatre feel
I've been
to it.
told. I can't wait
Dark,
to get in there.
and the spotlights are particularly. It's good. It's a good space for performance.
And how many? What's the capacity of it?
It's about 200 or 300, something like that.
That's big.
It's nice. It's intimate and good. Big. But will you have props, and what are those props on the event?
It's very simple. It is just one bed, because the play follows a day in the life of Nick, but it has flashbacks to important events that have shaped his life. So it all happens around one bed.
Yeah.
No props. Very, very simple.
That's actually one of the perks of the piece. A lot of theatre shows you get a lot of props. But this one's only got a bed.
Have you half a dozen lines in you that you can give us now? Of the piece. Now tell us about this piece we're going to hear. Okay, where are we and what is it?
This is, what about the
Just do trying to think what's suitable.
That first bit.
Just the very first bit about
so this is
Eureka Johnson.
Yeah, this is the beginning. He's woken up on the day that is to be the third day of his voluntary work at a care home. And he wakes up, realises what he's got to do, and we join him as he's studying a new bed that he's just got.
Right.
And because he's goth, he's trying to sort out whether it fits in with his you know,
Yeah.
what he
And
wants.
his name is
His name's Nick.
Nick. Now, I'll introduce you. All right? You
So
stood
to the
by?
camera?
Yes, no, to the camera for it, and I'll introduce you. And we're going to say, he's on the third day of his responsibility, is Nick, in the care home. He cares enough, this young man, to want to help, and help he does. We find him in confrontational mood with the bed. Not a nasty kind of thing, but the bed has a significance on the journey through time.
As beds go, it is passable, I suppose. Obviously, I would prefer to sleep in a coffin. But as my mum has so hilariously pointed out, they don't sell coffins at IKEA. Yet. I've written a letter informing the managing director about this potentially profitable gap in the market. I've also included some of my own designs. Though I'm not particularly hopeful about the whole thing. Partly because all hope is futile, and partly because I doubt they even have Goths in Sweden. Just Vikings and that. Eureka Johnson.
There we go.
I love that. That is so,
Nice opening.
even that bite-sized chunk, it's got me hooked. It is nice.
It's a comedy, you know. It's a
It's
good
lovely.
laugh.
It is a good
and
laugh,
It's like
yeah.
it's not, you know, the language is really easy to comprehend. It's got, you know, it's very modern references to, you know, everything around us today.
Very accessible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just for a young
Yeah.
audience,
No.
for anyone could come and enjoy it.
Well, from what I've heard, and from meeting the pair of you, I think it's a go situation for Thursday evening.
Absolutely.
And my recommendation to folk out there is to be there, because these are charming young people. They're people of enthusiasm and commitment to what they do. And you'll find them on Thursday evening at the Sean Hollywood Art Centre. What time?
7:30.
7:30 in the evening time. And tickets are available where?
Tickets are available at the door, and they're
At
only a
the
fiver.
door. And you will have to go to it. You will have to go. How long does it last?
It's about 70 minutes.
70 minutes is easy peasy and wonderful. Are you talking for the whole 70 minutes?
Pretty much.
That's a big, any break there for you on the way through it?
No interval. Yeah, apart from the odd little moments where there's changes in scene and stuff like that, it's straight through.
Great stuff, good stuff. So, Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, pay at the door, Newrys Art Centre. All the best to you.
Thank
Go
you.
well. It's been lovely
Cheers.
talking
You
with
too.
Thank you for having us.
God bless you. Go well. Take care.